G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Furious Auto Grenade Launcher with plus 10% damage whilst aiming. That's the legendary effect of Hitman's from Far Harbor. So, Furious Hitman's Auto Grenade Launcher it is. So, it's been quite a while since we've done this particular weapon. I originally did it with an instigating video, and too long didn't watch. I basically concluded that to be a good primary weapon, it needed to do A, more damage, and B, needed to stop breaking every 12 shots. So, let's see if it is lifted, because there's been a couple of changes to explosive heavy weapons since I've recorded that video. So yeah, I've also got our build, prepped to actually make sure this thing doesn't have the same flaws, or to alleviate it a little bit. But anyways, we're doing 120 damage with this thing. Long barrel, that actually makes it lighter despite it being longer, having more metal, and gives it more range and more condition bar. So the attachments are still bugged with this, and also the naming conventions. It should have Furious Auto Grenade Launcher up the top here, but nope. So I feel like out of all of the weapons that have been actually in this game, this is probably one of the most neglected. So let's go ahead and upgrade this thing's damage. We've got stabilized because I intend to use this thing in power armor, and we've also gotten rid of all of our energy ammo for now. So instead of having batteries included there, I'm going to make the weapon degrade 30% less. We've also got luck of the draw because, yeah, it breaks very, very quickly. So I'm thinking if I get one of those things to proc, I might get a couple of extra shots out of it. Nothing too much going on here. That's just the same as I had on yesterday with my Bloodied Fire Rate 50. We've also got Ordnance Express to carry the 360 odd grenades that we do have. Pain Train, so we can, stagger things if we get too close to them, so we can easily, get away from them before blowing the crap out of them. Faster reloads there, something to keep the weights down, because honestly, what else is going to help me? We've also got Bullet Shield there, so if we happen to catch some bullets whilst firing this thing, it won't do quite as much damage. And with everything added there, we get 219 damage. Okay. Okay, let's start off with these ghouls, shall we? And, that's the same reload animations as a 50 cal. I'd like to remind everyone that I was doing like 240 something damage with my Furious or my Bloodied Fire Rate 50 cal, so, it's leaving a little bit to be desired already. There's a couple of things we learned though, so we're hitting for 180 damage. We've also got that extra little bit of adrenaline now. So 219. Okay, there's also, we could have chucked on Grenadier as well. In fact, I might actually do that now, just as these guys gather. I'm going to make you run the other way, aren't I? Yep. Okay, whilst we're, taking care of that particular bug, all we'll do is chuck on Grenadier. Alright, twice the explosive radius now. And there we go, we can knock them down out of our way, which means we won't get stopped by them. So what I'll do now is attempt to aggro all of these ghoulies in here. I think I stubbed my power armor toe on that ghoul there, and it sounded like it hurt him a lot more than it hurt me, which is pretty good, yes. And who have we got as a boss? Okay, we've got a fat ass. Okay, at this point, if they haven't, spotted us and aren't all chasing us by now, I'm going to be very, very surprised. So basically, here's how it's going to go down. I'm going to launch grenades in this particular area, making sure we don't actually hit them directly, rather that we hit them with splash damage bounced off walls, because I've found that, weirdly it does more damage if I happen to hit them this way, which is kind of bizarre. And there we go, we've actually knocked ourselves out of a little bit of health there. We were sitting a little bit better, now we're at 50% after that little shot to ourselves there. So it looks like we're hitting them for about 350, which is better, and yep, 380 there. So it's definitely enough to kill the odd ghoul, but once we get into something a little bit stronger, or a little bit, you know what, you're not even worth the grenade, yeah, we might actually struggle with this thing a little bit against something a little bit tougher. But in terms of crowd control situations, you don't need to have a particularly good legendary effect on your auto grenade launcher to make it work right. Also, don't we look awesome in this power armor? So after all that bloodshed, we've got about a third-ish of the secondary health bar weathered away and 417 damage. And we only did that in like 16 grenades, which is a mag and a quarter, which is pretty damn solid. Alright, here's a nice test. Not on that deer per se, but I saw a bear over here. And if we can take these guys out easily enough, I feel like we'll be in good shape. So we're only hitting him for about 280. 300 when we get it nice and close. Anyways, we'll see how this thing does with that aim down sights, although it's going to be hard to test that. I've got adrenaline now, so we'll pop it around there-ish. So 481, aim down sights for a second. 514. Yep, seems about right. And we managed to get him in 3 grenades, which is honestly not that bad. Again, taking a look at that condition bar, getting towards that half of that secondary. So I'm thinking direct hits is actually going to trigger Furious to work, so we'll see. 255 and 3, 252, 282, 298. If I could actually hit the bugger. There's no excuse for missing a target this large, shame on me. Also, we're at Nerd Rage threshold now. We don't have Nerd Rage equipped though for obvious reasons, but yeah, looks like that Furious sometimes works on him, which is nice. Honestly, probably not the best prefix, but you know, it's nice to have a look at what this thing does more towards the baseline before we get into, you know, like bloodied ones, for a little bit of contrast is all. And wow, only 10% health. I should probably get some stim packs into me, eh? Okay, so a quick look at the condition bar before we do this. Let's see how we go. For some reason, the game thinks it was a headshot. Now, when it comes to these grenade launchers, if you can manage to score yourself a hit where you're going to hit 2 things at once, that is definitely what you want to do for ammo efficiency reasons, because, you know, the sky isn't exactly, you know, dropping these grenades out in the sky for you. I mean, the Scorch dudes are, the gun zombies, and that's a critical for you. Got the Queen going at least, and we'll quickly dry out the mag. Haven't seen anything proc from, what's it called? That thing that repairs your gun, so that perk's being fucking useless right now. I think it's been bugged for a long time, because I haven't seen it ever work past rank 1. So maybe I should have used at least one. Ooh, hopefully I don't fucking die here. I might. Look at that health bar. Nope, it's a trade kill. It's like we're playing Battlefield 1 all over again. Watch what happens when you give up. You flip the fuck out. And in today's edition of the Train Yard Smash, we've got mole rats. Oh, how exciting. Now, these bastards are actually a little bit tricky when it comes to using grenade launchers, because typically they'll bury in the ground for, I don't know, 30 seconds. They just come out when they want to, but when they do pop out, they're right bloody next to you, so they kind of they kind of counter your grenade launchiness, I guess. But that's okay. We've got a little perk called Pain Train, and also we've got a jetpack on our power armor, so you know, we're not gonna have too much trouble taking out these guys as long as we can catch them before they start burying themselves in. So you know, and oh, little bastard got away from the grenade. Okay, now we play the waiting game. Feel free to reload every time you do that, and then jump, and then fire over there, rinse and repeat. Yeah, hitting these guys for 600, that's right. Got myself stuck there for a second. Wait for it. Wait for it. Okay, appears to be nothing. We'll move on to where I know there's a couple, because there's usually a couple bumming around in this room. I think they get stuck in here. I don't know whether they spawn them in here deliberately, or whether they just get stuck because they can't navigate past those things, and that was a nice double kill. Is that a tin can chime? Hell yeah, give me that. Right, so I got no bloody clue where the other mole rats got themselves to. Maybe they just dug to China and are now communist mole rats. Look who wants to fight. If it isn't the commie mole rat, well guess what? You're being nuked from orbit, just like all of the other commies in this particular universe. Alright, time to go Scorchbeast hunting. We've got our shotgun on speed dial if we ever need to make some quick enforcer hits on the Scorchbeast just to bring them down, because, you know, it's going to be a little bit difficult hitting the Scorchbeast as they're flying around with a slow-moving grenade projectile, so all we need to do is just hit them in their wings, and since we're using a shotgun, it should be easily done. Incoming blast, don't need to worry about that, got plenty of health. And now he drops, which now we got to move in for the kill. We've got 11 grenades in this thing. Ignore these gun zombies, or just use them for adrenaline damage. Thank you very much, boys. And now we attack the Scorchbeast. And then another one shows up. Okay, I'm being dogpiled by Scorchbeasts here, but that seems to be the amount of damage you can get on these guys. That power armor stomp didn't help too much. And we are struggling against these. You'd think it'd take less shots than this, but nope. Oh my word, there's actually 3 of the bastards. Okay, cool. You didn't ever want to grab 3 of the bastards when I'm recording something good like an explosive rapid 50 cal, but no. You show up with a shitty grenade launcher and it's all of the Scorchbeasts and their mothers are out. Is that a level 81? No, he's only a little level 50 dude, so we'll play nicely with him by shredding his wings with our explosive buckshot, I suppose. That one was nice and close. We actually got a tiny little bit of damage, you know, as far as an unspec'd shotgun at very low range goes. Okay, he drops down. We'll pop a quick reload because we've got time, and we can make time for ourselves when we've got that lock and load perk. Also, what is this moonwalking nonsense? What are you doing? Insert Michael Jackson music here. Hopefully he doesn't do horrible things to little child bats like Michael Jackson did horrible things to child humans, right? Well, if he did, he's dead and he's got his comeuppance by now. So we'll go ahead and take out this last zombie who's successfully thwarted me by sitting behind a... No, we're done with the mole rats, go away. And now I'm done with myself. You win this time, you commie little fucking bastards. I know, like last time, we'll beat them in a space race. That was lame. Okay, so all that fighting prior has left this thing with just a sliver of its condition bar left. We'll just apply one of those auto repair kits or repair kits from the SBQ and we'll be on our way. And also had to switch servers, so just gonna unequip and re-equip the weapon, make sure we get all of our bonuses, and here we go. Here's where it's going to start to struggle because super mutants are tough, and if they're going to take multiple grenades to take down, yeah, as you can tell, it's going to be... I mean, it's going to use up a lot of our grenades, but at least when they're all gathered in like loosely packed sardines here, we can get lots of damage per shot, because if you think about it, damage per target is not great, but if you get a group, damage per shot can just skyrocket. And now we're getting a little bit more traction. We're almost dead now because of that. If I switched off to Nerd Rage now, I'd be getting a little bit more damage out of it. Nice little legendary there. We'll just hit him up in VATS. Haven't been aiming a lot with this thing, and I just get taken out by that guy. Okay, gonna take a new approach now. We're now using Born Survivor instead of Gun Fu. I probably should have revised my agility section for this, but I thought we'd have the damage to, you know, not have to worry about that too much. We happened to get that thing over the super mutant there, so that was nice. And we get our nice revenge and save our steel there. I'll probably come back for that one later. Alright, so coming around the bend now, and in interest of getting the best damage possible out of this, I'm going to be aiming down sights as much as I can for the rest of this fight, because, you know, it does stack a little bit. You get that extra couple of bits of damage here and there, but honestly, it's not enough. This thing needs to do... It needs to be doing a lot more damage in my mind to actually make it worth using as a primary. So I'm thinking the only way you could probably run this as an effective primary is probably chucking the Bloodied Legendary effect on, or having the Bloodied Legendary effect on your particular launcher, and then just sitting at Nerd Rage threshold so you can, you know, boost this thing's damage exponentially. Because I reckon you could get pretty damn high damage, and since this thing does fire at a very fast pace. Also, the animations get weird when you stop moving. Yeah, but I reckon Bloodied would make this alright. Furious, not a fan. Alright, so since A, there was already a person in there clearing that thing out, and B, firing a grenade launcher within the confines of that place is impractical. Instead, we've come out to Huntersville, and we're going to kill these super mutants here, just to get our super mutant fix. And again, we'll see what we can do to gather a lot of people up, but honestly, if it's one person on their own, you probably want to just switch to something else, and you've got the possibility to do that. You don't actually have a lot of... You need actually to have a lot of perks in your strength. section to actually, you know, make this work. In fact, it's all intelligent, so you can probably get away if you don't have a whole lot of grenades on you. Nice synchronized death animation. Yeah, if you don't have a whole lot of grenades, you can probably get away without using Ordnance Express, which is nice. Plenty of super mutants gathered in here, making some good use out of that splash damage. Grenadier definitely helping us out to reach out to hit those guys there if we hit them in the middle. And right there is where I don't use one gun army against these guys. I might get the extra cripple chance on a hit, but we do hit them with a 40mm grenade, and that tends to break a leg if you hit them, so you know, that's cool. Alright, so I expect this thing to have cleared out this mob already. It's not a whole lot of super mutants here, but something else instead of the regular inside, because honestly they'd take a little bit too long to clear out. Don't forget about these blokes though. They don't usually come out. I don't think their pathing allows them. They're kind of just stuck there. And another synchronized death there. Very, very good. So, there you have it. That was a Furious Hitman's auto grenade launcher. Has it improved since I first used it? Yes. Was it because of my perk choices? Yes. I don't think they've actually touched this weapon since that little patch there. I know that the Batman got a significant buff, and people are saying the missile launcher was doing alright, but I actually haven't investigated that myself. But, yeah, there's not a whole lot of reason still to use these heavy weapons. You know, you can get a whole lot of damage per shot with them, but it's not as reliable as whipping out something like a bloody rapid 50 cal and, you know, shooting them with that, because you get plenty of damage out of it. There just doesn't seem to be utility for a big old grenade launcher like this in the game, and I do think it still needs a buff somewhere. Obviously, this condition bar, that needs to be sorted out, because if we're only firing this, you know, half a dozen times before it fucking snaps in half, then that's no good. And the scarcity of these rounds, I mean, I've gone through about half of them. It's going to take me ages to actually farm up that, because I crafted none of them. I farmed them one by one off scorched corpses. But yeah, since they are so rare, I see no reason not to have that. And if they're worried about PvP, well, who gives a shit about PvP anymore in regular survival and adventure mode? We've got Nuclear Winter for PvP, and if they do think it'd be too overpowered, well, think about all of those blooded explosive weapons, those anti-armor explosives. Everything, basically everything kills instantly when it comes to PvP in the regular mode. So I don't know if that's the limiting factor why they don't want to touch it, or whether they think it's right where it is. Well, you don't ever see anyone using it, so clearly it is not right where it is, and that's my 2 cents on the matter. If you'd like to see this thing in your game, well, you better hurry up. After this video, I'm probably going to be scripting it the next day, because I've just went on another amazing farming run. Yeah, I'm gonna make that that scripting video. We're gonna have 5,500 spent on 3-star weapons, and I guess none of them are actually going to be good, but it'll be interesting to see. Thank you very much for watching, guys.